Oh, like it just was.
Right. And like, what y'all listening to? Because this is right up on it. Hello, people. Sorry. Getting this together. Okay. Let's see. I have to re-download my Facebook app just for this. Because but I want to make it work. Hey, y'all. Hey, friends. How y'all doing?
Hello, hello.
Welcome to Thursday.
Hello.
Oh, Lord. Speaking of mommy and ain't being easy, I got my child yelling in the background. Is the food done?
Did you give him a
You know you got to set your kids up before you do anything. I told him, but he can wait. You gotta let the seasoning soak in. Just give it a second.
Y'all see how she tried not to be a mama and actually yell it back there? Because I'd have been yelled by now. It ain't done yet.
So who we got here? Who's on here? Can y'all say hey? Uh-oh. I forgot I was playing the music.
Ken messing up already. But remind her not to swipe on the screen, y'all, when she's trying to read y'all comments.
I know, right? Because I had this all messed up. Okay, we got 3 minutes, y'all, before we start. We're going to let people roll in. If y'all want to say hey, announce yourself. Let us know you're here. Hey, sis. Ebony women in the house. How you doing? Oh Lord, I need a sip.
Y'all got me.
I got my Mommy and Ain't Easy wine glass in honor of the show. Can y'all see that? Mommy and Ain't Easy. I actually won this. This is a gift from me when I sat on a panel. Moms and Mimosas. That's what it's called, right?
Mommies and
Mimosas, I think, with Nisha. Yeah. And so they gave us those glasses. It was really nice.
Let's do that thing again.
What? Oh, where it was skipping? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which one you said I needed to be connected to?
5. But your laptop and your computer might only your laptop and your computer. Well, same. Your computer might connect to 2.4. It might not be an option for 5.
No, it is. It usually is. I need to have that one connect automatically.
I look like my daddy right here, y'all.
Okay, it's 6:59. I don't know what's going on here. Do I need to disconnect that first? Right, I didn't think so, but it don't want to connect to that. Whatever is right.
Just push cancel. Oh.
Yeah, we messing stuff up, trying to be extra.
There we go.
Okay. So, hey, y'all. Welcome back to Wine&Grow with Ken and Kay. It's connected now. When we grow, we wine.
And when we... She said it wrong.
What'd I say? What did I say?
It's when we wine when we grow.
We wine when we grow.
And when we grow, we need wine.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so this is moving. It's a lagging a little bit. So I hope it's not too bad on y'all end. So today we are dedicating this episode to all the mommies across the world happy early Mother's Day.
Yes.
And cheers to you and everything that you do. So, just a little background story on myself. I'm a mother of one. My son is 13. I almost said 14. Don't want him to age any faster than he is. He's 13, and I had Demaic when I was a junior in high school. So I was 17 when I had him, 16 when I got pregnant. And yeah, and it's been a journey. I have to graduate high school, went away to college, all the other good stuff. So yeah, that's just a little background. I'm a single parent, but I co-parent with my son's father. Very well. We co-parent very well. Definitely, that's been a journey. But God is good and He's faithful and He cares because He got us there.
I have two children. Who I don't know, I'm Sequoia. I'm sorry, Kay. I have two grown children. Soraya is 14. My baby going to high school, y'all. And Savion is 11, and that is my baby. My baby. I was a teen mom. Went to college with two kids. A second time. Man, it's rough. Being a mom is very rough.
Yeah.
So I'm not sugarcoating nothing. It's rough. Okay.
Yeah. And today we wanted to just take some time to kind of just talk about how our experience has been as a mom. And like Sequoia said, it's definitely been rough. It's been full of sacrifices. It's been full of lessons learned, right? Because we talked about this on Teachers Around Us, like just the different lessons that we have learned from our children in itself. Like when I first got pregnant at 16, definitely was not trying to be no mama, definitely had no interest in that. I was a cheerleader. I was trying to go away to college. I was not even trying to like basically put those two together. You know, I just tried to keep it separate. Like this is me, but this is happening to me, but this is not me. All at the same time. So yeah, so it's for me, like the first sacrifice that I had to make as a mom was really my childhood, kind of in a way, right? Because I was 16. And then where I would have liked to go to college, you know, I had to reconsider all of that. But I'm so grateful for where I landed, you know, at Northern. So I had to start researching schools that would accommodate me as a mom because I took my child away with me to college. So I had to look for something like that. And I look for something close to home so that I would, you know, if I needed support, I could just call back home, go back home if I needed. So it definitely shifted the plans that I have for my life, which is true of all parents. No matter how old you are when you have them, having a child is going to shift your entire life. You're going to have to adjust your plans now around your child. Like I said, in my younger days, I was not trying to do that. Like I was still trying to live my life how I wanted to live it, regardless, you know? So like, and people see me out when I was in college, like at some point I was probably hanging out more than my friends who didn't have kids because I was like, I'm not going to miss out on my college experience because I'm a mom. This is not about to do it, you know? So I was close enough to send my baby home and stuff. So I would, you know, so that I could still enjoy things. Yeah. Like what was one of the first sacrifices that you could remember?
The same thing, my childhood. There was not a lot of things that I can do. And if I could tell y'all how hard it was for me and my mother, if I told y'all a story about how her fact that I was pregnant was, we don't want to go there again. We don't want to go there again because it feels like it was just yesterday.
Right.
But yeah, my kid, well, at that time I only had Soraya. But she went with me everywhere. My child went with me everywhere. So I didn't really go out too much at night, obviously, because one, I had a strict mom, but then on top of that, I also had a child. So I wasn't doing much.
Yeah. I remember going away to college and seeing people with their kids. And I was just like, I don't know why I thought that when I went to school with my son that I was just going to be the only person. Like, I had no idea there was going to be other people on campus with kids. So I had that in my mind that it was only going to be me. And I remember going like for the first time, and then I like was seeing like, and I actually started seeing like the flyers for the college parents group and stuff like that. And that made me like, okay, so I ain't the only one here with a baby. Like that's kind of crazy. But I remember meeting Sequoia, and like she legit always had her kids. You know, like
it's like no, I'm not making shit. I always had my kids.
Legit, always had her kids, and you know, like so, I was that person, and I still am that kind of that type of friend. Like, let's hang out, get you a babysitter, like, you know, like trying to give my friends a break from being a mom. You know, like we have to take moments to just be ourselves sometimes, and that's something that I actually learned from my family. You know, and it's like growing up, I didn't get it, right? Growing up, I didn't appreciate it when my mom would take us to my grandmother's and she'd hang out and do what she had to do. But now as an adult, I'm like, oh, I get it. Yeah, they might call granny or call your daddy, you know, like, cause I need to just hang out with some adults. You know, I need to be around adults. So now I am mama. You know, so now I see myself doing those same things, like trying to make time for me, trying to have fun, trying to still be a regular adult while still trying to parent.
Because and that goes because when you get pregnant young or when you have kids, it's almost like life is over. That's what you're told. Your life is ended because now you have a child, which is not the case. You just have to. You can't do as much as regular people do.
Regular
people, because regular people are people with no children. Regular people are people with no children.
Yeah. So we don't want to make
can't move freely.
Right. And we don't want to make this episode about teenage pregnancy, right? So it's just about our experience as a mom.
Even now, because you know, as your kids get older, because even if you had a kid now, if you had at the age we are, you still have to find people to watch your children when you want to do something.
Oh yeah.
So it's still the same, whether it be for business that you need somebody to watch your kids, whether it be because you want to go out. Everybody don't want to watch your kids. So
since we on the topic of going out though, right now, this has made me think about mom guilt. You know, like, and that was something that I had never thought about until I actually was on that panel for the mommies and mimosas, and they were talking about mom guilt. I'm just thinking, like, I never really experienced that. You know, like I don't be feeling bad when I be going out. You know, like I don't. But it wasn't until recently that I had actually started experiencing mom guilt. I think as I grew more into myself and got more connected with myself, and began to get more connected with my son, and that made me connect with him on another level. So him, when he would be like worried about me, or when he would want to know, you know, like I would like, or when I may be leaving him and just going to have fun, like I would feel bad, like I would, you know, like okay, like, or if I was going to get something to eat, you know, like y'all know them times y'all go get something to eat, y'all eat it in y'all car because y'all want to bring it in the house and got to worry about the kids.
All the times I
you know what I'm saying? So now I'd be like finding myself having to make sure I have enough for the mic too, you know, because I'm like, I don't want to feel guilty. You know, I done had some carrots and noodles for dinner. Like, you know, that's, and my mom did that. She used to do stuff like that. Had us eat noodles and they was eat steak.
I don't feel guilty.
Petty. But yeah. So,
but of course, me and my kids always went out to eat too, though. So,
and that's what I'm saying. So when you think about the difference in our parenting, like you had a deep connection with your children early on. They were always with you. You were always doing stuff with them. So now it's kind of like you're shifting. You know, not that you're neglecting them, but you're learning to appreciate your time and things for yourself. Where it's the opposite for me. You know, like early on, I was still trying to be me. I was not trying to be defined by a pregnancy. So I was like pushing my son off a lot, you know, and he was basically he was with me a lot. He wasn't a part of me, you know, so, and I can admit that, you know, in this stage of my life, because I'm okay with it. And I take accountability for the things that I've learned from, you know, like my son was with me, but he was not a part of me. So he was just somebody there. And I was just somebody there with him, you know, but now it's just completely different for me. It's just, you know, so, yeah, she said your time becomes more precious and you can't take days for granted. Yes, that's true. You know, so I just seen a video earlier today of a mom who was defending her child at a grocery store, So the kids were dressed in African attire, and they went to a grocery store, and I guess the white cashier asked them if they were going trick or treating, and got back to moms, and moms went in there and turned up. Y'all seen these videos? Yes, like transparency. Yes, because that was not easy, Cece. It's never easy to admit that, but thank you for saying that to me, because that makes me feel better. But yeah, so she basically went off on this lady to defending her kids. Like basically, and I don't know if everybody has seen that video, but I'm sure as moms, you all have points, well, when your kids are older, where you feel like you have to defend your children. You have to protect them, because it starts in the home. Now, if your kids go out in the world and they feel like they can't come to you if the world is attacking them, then that home is not safe. Mm-hmm. I always tell Demaya, like, I trust you first. So if your school calls me and tells me that you did something, I'm not going to assume that it's always right. I'm going to ask you about it first. I want to hear your side of the story. And then I'm going to tell you what the school said, because I know how this world is. I know how this world is for our Black boys. And we live in a community that's predominantly white, and the school is predominantly white. So I'm like, I'm not going to let them make an example of my child when they're calling me saying stuff that I know that they're over exaggerating. Like, your child. You're like, okay, you would have said that, then I would have believed you. But you saying this, now I got to question what you're saying. So there's that. To step up to bat for my son. Like, y'all are not about to point him out. And if y'all feel like y'all having a problem with him, I need y'all to call me. Do not discipline my child without including me, because I need to know everything that's going on. I am not one of those moms that you could just do whatever you want to do and you think that I ain't gonna have nothing to say, because I want to make sure that I am saying those same things to him at home, that I'm reiterating that. Me and his father are the same way in our co-parenting. If he's in trouble at home with me, he's in trouble at home with his dad, and vice versa. It ain't gonna be no, well, when he go to dad's, he can do whatever he want. Then when he go to mom's, he in strict punch. No, I ain't playing that. He ain't playing that, and we definitely ain't playing that with the schools. So y'all, y'all got to protect y'all kids. Y'all have to make sure that they can come to y'all no matter what. Mm-hmm. Because at the end of the day, it's just going to be y'all and them against the world. And like I said, if they can't come to you with their problems, then who else are they going to have? And that's when you get kids out here who depressed, kids out here who depending on their friends for stuff because they don't find that security in their home. And that's something that our generation actually gets, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, talked down upon, like that our generation is too lenient. And I remember one time, Demaya Cat got upset. What was happening? We was getting ready to go to Atlanta, and he had got upset about something, but I yelled at him. I had yelled at him, but I was really agitated already that morning. And I ended up basically taking out my agitation on him. And I felt bad after I yelled at him, and I apologized. I called and I apologized to him. And the response that I received was, "You raising your child like white people." And I'm like, what? Because I want him to know how to express his feelings. And when adults are wrong, that we can also say sorry.
And I ain't got to whoop my child every time he do something wrong, because he may not always be in the wrong.
Yeah. Like, it's okay to apologize. And that's the thing that I was saying, that we get talked upon. Our generation, we are getting more in tune with our emotions. So we are trying to teach that to our children. And that's where, the generations before us don't understand, because we were told, shut up, stay in the child's place, do this, do that, don't worry about why, just do it because I said so, because I'm an adult and you're not. That's the type of things that we were raised on. And when we did something wrong, we didn't understand why we got a whooping. We just know, we felt in our soul that we did something wrong because now we're getting a whooping. So I don't raise my child like that.
Absolutely not. Now, I was at first, because of course that's what I saw. Mm-hmm. But then, of course, I saw that it also wasn't working for my child, especially my oldest. So it started to be a conversation about everything. And so now that we are at that point, we can now have conversations about any and everything, mm-hmm. whether it be about anything, boys, her friends, anything. She now feels, and I won't say that she ever felt like it wasn't a safe space to talk to me, but I know that she knows for sure now. Mm-hmm. So, and I'm glad that we got to that point. Because especially having a daughter, I would, and I'm a mom, I would love for her to come talk to me because I didn't always have that.
Right.
So it's, yeah. What do you think is one of the what was one of the, as up to now, being a mom, what was one of the, I don't want to say worst moments of what was one of the moments that really just stood out to you, or just like made you think twice about how you were parenting the Mayak?
That after that Mommy Ain't Easy brunch, and we were out. We went out because we was like, okay, Sunday fun day. We just gonna hang out, and Demike was trying to figure out when I was coming home, and I had, my response to him was, "Don't worry about it. I'm grown, and I'll get there when I get there." And I won't say those were my exact words, but that was my tone, just like that. Like, don't question me, And in that moment, I felt bad. I was just like, okay, I don't want to parent my child like this, because, like, even though there's a boundary you need to set with your kids as far as questioning you and your authority, there's still some explanation that we should offer them to help them to understand, why we are choosing to do the things that we do. And that's how I've decided to raise my child. So now when I go places, I let him know to an extent what I'm doing, because I also had to learn to not offer up too much information, because then he was checking for me. When I said I was going to be home at 10 and I went home by 10:01, he was calling my phone, calling my friends, and calling everybody else looking for his mama. That ain't what we going to do, So, but, I made it my responsibility to not be out too late, like if he's here, or to, make sure that he's with somebody that he's comfortable with, so that he's not worried about me and thinking about me, so that was a moment for me, that day. Like, that just was like a shift in my mind. Like, this ain't how this is going to be.
One of mine was when Sarai got into a fight. I wasn't mad about the fact that she's defending herself. I was mad about the fact that she didn't, when it was happening or before it happened, she didn't handle it how I told her how to handle it. You went ahead and fought this person instead of coming home. My baby was so scared to come home, y'all. As soon as I opened the door, she started crying. She was like jumped and everything. She went in her room and hid under the bed. That was it for me. Because I never wanted my kids to be, and mind you, ain't like I'm beating the crap out of my kids, y'all. It's just that they know when I'm mad, I'm mad. And that was that point. Like, because you should have came home. And this would all could have been avoided. Now I got police coming to my house because you didn't beat up this girl and everything. Like, but the fact that she hid under the bed, it made me cry. It hurt me to the core, because my child is afraid of me. So no, she's not going to talk to me about anything. She's going to think I don't even understand. That was it for me. Yeah. That was it. I already knew I had to get myself together.
So what was that process like for you, making her become comfortable with you? Because y'all relationship is completely different now.
Yeah. I would just talk to her. But after that incident, the exact same day, I ended up calming down myself, and I waited till she was calm, and I ended up having a conversation with her and told her exactly why I was upset. Because of course I couldn't tell her in that moment, but overall, even without the mother aspect, that's just me. Don't talk to me when I'm mad, or I cannot talk to you when you're mad. But I also have to change that, or just take my time. Especially that's a respect thing. Just give me my time. Yeah. But when it comes to your kids, they can't wait for you to be ready. They can't wait for you to be ready.
They don't understand that.
Right. So that at that moment,
it may even crush them a little more. Yeah. Because now you don't got time.
Because now I don't even want to talk to you, because my mom doesn't even want to talk to me right now. Yeah. So that's hurting them even more. But I knew I could not keep doing that, especially to my children, because again, just like we just said, it's gonna make it worse. Yeah. So everything, I started changing my tone. I would breathe before I even start talking to either one of them. Yeah. My kids ain't had a whooping in years.
So what was a win for you? Like, what was a moment when you knew, I'm doing this right? Where you felt that you was doing it.
Because Fabian ain't at that stage where he able to do all that yet, but when Sarai started coming to me about the real stuff that was going on in her life. Most recently, the one of the biggest ones was when she just had an issue with one of her friends, a serious issue, and she came to me. And it And that was a big
Mhm.
moment. That
Yeah.
was really, really big because she didn't know what else to do.
Mhm.
And so the only thing that she knew to do was to come to her mom.
Mhm.
And I felt good. It hurt me that she had to come to me in that instance for that type of situation, but
It made you feel.
It made me feel good that she could.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, it's been a couple instances. Like, I love hearing DeMike on the phone with his friends.
Mm-hmm.
He's talking about his parents and how how we're best friends. I love that he knows that even though his parents aren't together, that we have a really good relationship, and he can see that. We make sure that he can see that. But one moment in particular that made me like, okay, I'm doing this right. I had took him and Soraya to the Youth Empowerment Conference.
Yeah.
And they actually had decided to come to one of my sessions. And I was, first of all, as a mom of a preteen, I was not expecting him to even want to be around me when all these other teens are around. And better yet, come to one of my sessions, but they came to my session. And we were talking about if you feel safe with your parents, if you feel like you can talk to your parents. And DeMike was like, I feel like I could talk to my mom and my dad about anything I'm going through. I know they always going to have my back. And he said this in front of all of the kids in the class. So we had kids from like 11 to high school. Mm-hmm. And it made me feel so proud because there was kids in there who were talking about how they couldn't trust their parents and the hard conversations they're not able to have, and they go to their friends. And my son was just able to admit there that he felt safe. Mm-hmm. And they didn't even know that was my child. And he, of course, at that moment, he said, like, that's my mom. And which made me even more proud because he acknowledging me, in a room full of people. Like, and y'all, when y'all get to y'all kids being teenagers stuff, you understand how important that is, and they ain't embarrassed to you. Like, that's a proud moment.
Soraya likes to hold my hand and everything. So it's real. Soraya loves to hold my hand. Yeah. She likes to be up under me.
I like to be the embarrassing mom, though. Like, I love it. Like, I definitely do stuff purposely to embarrass my. I will be in the movie theaters, and as soon as the credits come on and the music start playing, I start Millie rocking. When the lights come on, Mom, can you not do that? Do you know any other dances? Like, first of all, do you know I can dance? Like, I'm a dancer. Like, you gonna really just like that downplay my skills? Like, he be hating on me, y'all. So, but I love that dance with me.
Yeah, say me how to dance with me. Soraya won't. Yeah, she like, okay, and keep on going. We ain't gonna go there. She ain't gonna do that with me. But
so we have a lot of moms watching, so tell us, do y'all have any questions, or like maybe y'all can comment, just tell us what are some hard troubles or some hard things that you had to overcome in your parenting,
especially for the mom to have more than 2 kids. Mm-hmm. How is that? Like, how do you figure out how to I don't want to say divide your time, but
that's a good question.
How do you make time for all of your kids?
How do you make time?
So, well, for me, I know what my kids like to do. So Soraya, me and her might decide to go paint or something. Because she knows how to draw. She loves to paint. She just actually told me she was out of canvases the other day. So, and then Savion loves to entertain, period. He'll dance, he'll rap. I'm recording him, I'm watching him. We just do something that I do what they like. Yeah. And I'll take Soraya out. If I know Soraya needs that time with me, we'll go out to eat or something. And I've done that for both of them. But as she's getting older, and of course, Savion, I can't do everything with Savion because he is a boy, but I can do as much as I can. Being his mom and being a female, I can only do so much. Right. But we do a lot. I just figure out what they like and just do what they like. Mm-hmm. Or if we all together, we're going to get ice cream or something, mm-hmm. or going to McDonald's. My kids love to go to restaurants. I did that to them. I spoiled them that way, and I'm so mad that I did.
My child, because when I be like, okay, what do you want to do? We can do anything you want to do. It's mommy son time. This first response is always food. Can we go to Chili's? Can we go to Buffalo Wild Wings? Whatever it has to do with food. I'm like, that's not actually an activity. I mean, I guess it is because you're eating. Bonding. But I'll be thinking like, he gonna say something like Sky Zone or skating. Like he just want to go eat. But I guess it's kind of like just intimate. Like you eat, you sit, you have to talk. Well, when I make him put down his phone, so because before he was really just trying to go because they always had the little free game thing, the little tablet. So he wanted to go grab the tablet. So I'm like, you think you slick, but now I'm taking that away. You're gonna spend time with me, So, but I like kids, stuff stick with them, right? Things stick with kids. What you do with them matters. Mm-hmm. Like Demai and that, so it doesn't surprise he wants to eat with me because when he was little, we used to do that at home. Like we would have picnics in the house. Like we'd order pizza, or no, we would make pizza, right? Because back then Link was on point, right? Okay. So we would bake pizzas and we make wings and we'll sit on the floor and we'll put a blanket down and we'll eat our food together and we'll watch TV. You know, I have to do that to this day. He is 13 and he still likes to turn on a movie and eat dinner with his mama. Like, and sometimes he'll even request a picnic in the house. Don't tell him I said that. Okay, this is our secret. But like, you know, but cute, you know, so like go like so to them, you know, like they're gonna pay attention. So the good, you know, it sticks.
That's what, but see, you know, because I take we had been going on a lot of places too. Like my kids on a cruise already. My kids, like I tried to take them places. They done been to Florida. They done been somewhere everywhere already. So that was another thing that I like to do with my kids. But I actually got that from my mom. My mom did what she could. So she would always take us. We would have family nights. She would, like, I remember Museum of Science and Industry because we lived that close. Mm-hmm. So it's just stuff like that. My mama did whatever she could to try to make it enjoy those times.
Yeah. Before we get off the live, first of all, I'm cracking up talking about, girl, I'm still trying to overcome. I can't stand these kids and this quarantine doesn't make it better. But you know, we know you, so I ain't gonna even get into that with you. Cause if you know. You know, and you missed the beginning of the conversation. My life has changed as I grew in myself. We've connected, you know, and you start seeing shifts in that when you start to shift. So that's the advice.
That's the start.
So, but one thing I want to talk about before we get off of here is like, because there was a time where I had to decide that I was not going to force Demai to do anything, because the kid that I imagined was in all type of sports, you know, was in every activity after school, going to church, you know, everything to be like I up because I was like mom was she wasn't a very involved. Mom was a single and she was working multiple jobs and she was our parent. So I got myself out in extracurricular activities to keep myself out of trouble and keep myself busy. So I had basically started doing that for my son, like early on. Like Demike was in swimming as an infant. He was in t-ball as soon as he got a chance to start. He was like basketball, whatever, you know. And now he's like, Mom, I don't want to do all of that. And I'm like, well, you're gonna do something, you know, like. And then he had to remind me one day, like, well, remember. And I had to really let that sink in because I did say that. He gets to a point. I do believe that as parents, we have to direct our children, right? Because they don't have the mindset to really control themselves and to keep themselves out of trouble. You control that for them, right? So you have to keep them out of trouble. But bad for forcing him into activities because then it allowed him to explore and to really to invest his time in. From everything that he did, he was able to say, Mom, I want to focus on this. I was fine because now I got to spend no more money on that activity. We're going to invest in this activity, you know, and his dad agreed. His dad, like, I don't want to waste no money. So whatever he want to do, let him do, you know. So, but I definitely think that y'all should, at a certain point, because that's what they're going to learn. Like I had to force the mic out on my social media one time when he didn't want to go to a school dance because he was like his friend and he just didn't want to do it or whatever. He was in 6th grade. And I was just like, this is your first middle school dance. You're going. I made him go to that dance. And of course he came back super happy. All of his friends had went because he decided he was going and they had fun. So then the next year, 7th grade come around, told me about the dance. Mom, I already know what I'm wearing. I need some money so I can buy a ticket. I'm like, I didn't even know it was gonna be a dance. So
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, boy, you know. So
yeah, that's just
Sade laughing at us because she know we right. Let me see what Sydney said though. I didn't give my daughter enough time to be a baby or my baby. I had my son 16 months later, and I see how it affects her. She still wants to be babied, and I have to. Yeah, very true. Yes, very true. And what my expectations are for my daughter. She was replying to Sydney. Okay, Sydney. Okay, you should have been on this live. You know what I'm saying? Because like your story is unique. You know, like if they relating to that. You back. Like people keep asking me like when I'm having more kids. That was my response. And when I didn't really know that mattered. Like, well, I just want to get, spend time with him and invest in him, but now I really see how important that is. Like really, and especially when I consider the way I was early on in parenting, I just want to approach it. I want the same outcome, so I don't want to have any more children right now. You said what?
That was gonna be my question actually.
If
you wanted more, well, not right now, but do you want more children?
I'm definitely open to more kids. Obviously, my son would be super. Yeah. They having some trouble with our video. That sucks. And we was on the end too.
Can y'all still see us? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Right. Okay, so we gonna end it over anyway.